first recipe we're making today are almond croissants made from scratch. Okay, so we're not making the croissants from scratch. These are just yummy, delicious croissants from Costco. However, we are going to make the almond filling, the topping. These are going to be incredible. The first thing you need to make almond croissants are actual croissants. I picked these up at Costco, and it's best to use day-old, slightly stale croissants. Take your croissant and slice them almost all the way through and let them dry out overnight. The second element to this dish is start out by getting a small pot and adding a 1/4 cup of water and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Bring this to a boil over high heat. Once that comes to a boil, take it off the heat, and I'm just putting it right on my ThermoWorks trivet. You know, I use those every day. And then to this, we're adding 1/8 of a teaspoon of rum extract and 1/8 of a teaspoon of almond extract. You can kind of swirl that around and it smells incredible. And we're just going to let this cool until we're ready to use. The next element to this dish is the almond cream, the almond filling, or the frangipane. So we're going to start out with 4 tablespoons of softened butter. And it's basically like we're making a cookie dough that gets spread out in there. I'm just going to cream this butter until it gets nice and creamy and whipped. To this, add a 1/4 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. This is dark, but you can also use light. And about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You know, I only use the good stuff.
Yum!
And cream this for about 2 minutes. After it's creamed together like this, and you might need to use a spatula to kind of smash everything together. You can also do this in a stand mixer. We're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract and a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. We're also going to cream in 1 egg that is preferably at room temperature and cream this together. And the last ingredient is just 1 cup of almond meal or almond flour. This is the same stuff you use to make macarons, and then 1 tablespoon of flour. And mix this together on low speed. And that's your yummy almond cream. So put this in the fridge, let it cool, let it chill for just a little while so then it's not so soft. We want it a little bit firmer when we put it on those amazing croissants. Now we have our dry croissants, and we're going to brush them with that simple syrup. I like to especially do the ends right here. Just kind of soak them through a little bit. I don't want them to be soggy, but we want to give them some flavor and some moisture back. Now we have our chilled almond cream, and this smells insane. It really looks just like cookie dough or peanut butter. And we're going to spoon a couple tablespoons onto each croissant. I like every bite to have a little bit of filling, so I slather it on generously. These little baby ones are so cute. They're like little minis. Okay, now close them and we're going to top them. Now that they're filled, we're gonna go back in with the simple syrup and just kind of soak the tops. Then this caramelized glaze, make them shiny, give them a little bit more moisture. This recipe makes enough for 4 large croissants or maybe 6 to 8 smaller medium-sized croissants and a bunch of these little mini ones. Now take your croissant and we're going to add a little bit more of the almond cream all over the top. And like I said, I like mine generous, but you do however much you want on yours. I have this thing, when my mom would make me like sandwiches for my lunch growing up, she would only spread like the peanut butter or whatever it was like on one, like she just do that like in the middle. So I have this thing now where I just, whenever I make sandwiches, I spread like mayo or peanut butter or whatever, like all the way to the ends every single time. Just a little piece of random trivia no one asked about. Me today spreading. You'll notice in other recipes that it doesn't call for brown sugar, and since we did use brown sugar, it has a little bit of molasses in it. I think it just adds a richer flavor and color. It just makes these croissants have a little bit more depth. Now we have to, of course, top them with almonds. So I'm just pouring out about a cup of sliced almonds onto a plate. You can also pat these on, but we want maximum almondage. So taking the croissant with the almond cream on top and just pressing them into the sliced almonds. We want as many as we can get going. Wow, this is a monster. You know what, let's just call these healthy because look how many almonds are on here. Almonds are like super healthy, right? These are insane. This is like the definition of encrusted. We are not going cheap on the almonds right now. So we are going to bake these in a 350-degree oven for about 12 to 15 minutes or until golden. The almond croissants just came out of the oven and they are spectacular. They've cooked for 14 minutes at 350, and I'm going to just put them on a cooling rack, let them cool completely before we dig into them. Are we kidding with this? This is amazing. So no almond croissant is complete without a dusting of powdered sugar. Let's give them a healthy, generous dusting. Okay, let's take one of these babies. Look at this. Okay, we'll cut it in half. Oh, look at that. That is a generous almond cream in there. This is the moment of truth. Look how incredible that almond croissant is. It's perfectly crispy, browned. Let's give it a taste. I did freaking good. You guys, I did freaking good. These are amazing. Make them immediately and thank me later. This next recipe is incredible. It's a baked croissant bread pudding, and it is one of my top Instant Pot recipes. It's so good, but I've converted it today to an oven recipe. The best part about this recipe is that it comes with this buttery rum sauce that has apple juice and dark brown sugar, and you just drizzle over the whole thing, and oh my gosh, it's incredible. So let's get started cooking that. To start making our croissant bread pudding, first take 3-day-old stale croissants and cut them up into chunks. I like to cut them in half and make about 1-inch pieces. This is about 7 to 8 ounces if you're doing this by weight, because I know all croissants are different sizes, shapes, weights, but you can scale this recipe to as many croissants as you have. Now set these aside. Now we're going to make the custard for the bread pudding. Over medium heat, combine 1.5 cups of heavy cream, half a cup of sugar, and 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and just stir to combine this. We're going to let this get warm and heat this until it is steaming but not boiling. Once this mixture starts to steam, turn off the heat and take it off the heat. You'll notice these chunks of cinnamon on here. That's because cinnamon is hydrophobic. That means that it repels water, and that's okay. That's totally normal. What we wanted the cinnamon to do here is just infuse into that cream and that sugar, so then everything just tastes even better. It's those layers of flavor that really make the difference in cooking. Now we're gonna make the custard by adding the eggs to this cream mixture. So crack 2 eggs into a liquid measuring cup and whisk them up. Now we're going to temper the eggs by adding just a little bit of this hot cream mixture into the eggs while whisking to kind of bring them up to temp. This technique is called tempering, and it's so we don't scramble our eggs. Okay, and now we'll just put the egg mixture into the hot cream very slowly so we don't get any scrambled eggs. Next, grease a 9x9 dish and then add your cut and dried up croissant pieces. If you want, you can layer chunks of Nutella, chocolate, berries, fruit, whatever you want in here, and that would be amazing. Now take a strainer, and then we're going to strain our custard mixture right over the top. You can see there are a couple cinnamon chunks in there, some egg chunks on the bottom. We don't want that in our bread pudding. Next, just kind of smash this down a little bit just to get some of that bread soaking, but don't stir it too much, otherwise it will get mushy, and we don't want that. We want the bread to keep its shape and texture. Let this soak for 5 minutes, and then we're going to bake it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. So I started out with 1/3 cup of butter, and we're going to let that melt down with 1/3 cup of white sugar, 3.5 tablespoons of dark brown sugar, 3.5 tablespoons of apple juice, and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Stir this and bring it to a boil for 5 minutes. Make sure you watch this carefully so it does not boil over, but you want it to boil for about 5 minutes so it gets nice and thick. Turn off and take it off the heat. And it's nice and brown and caramelized. It's so good. And we're going to add just a dash of salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon of rum extract, and a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I realized just now that I forgot to put in the 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla bean paste into the French toast. Okay, so just mix this in and then just put this in a glass dish, mason jar, and let it cool. And as it cools, it will thicken, and then you can use it as sauce for the bread pudding. Take a look at this. It is so crispy, crunchy, caramelized on the top. I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of powdered sugar for, well, you know, you don't need to justify powdered sugar. Okay, and grab a corner. Oh, it's so custardy and crispy. Okay, can you see the flakiness on there? It is so amazing. Right, here's the apple butter rum sauce. Oh my. Okay, we're gonna take a bite. Wow. So amazing. Wow. You know, sometimes I really outdo myself. This is one of those times. This is incredible. I hope you make it. Enjoy. There are only a couple foods that I will not eat, and one of them is canned meat. So I'm a little bit picky about it. However, this chicken salad sandwich recipe is literally one of the best things I've ever had. You can make it with rotisserie chicken or homemade pulled chicken, but today I'm using canned chicken and it really does not taste canned. This is one of the few recipes that you can't taste that kind of tinniness that comes with canned food. So bear with me, these are literally some of the best chicken salad sandwiches you've ever had. Let's get cooking. Now let's make the absolute best chicken salad sandwiches ever. We're going to start out with 1/2 cup of real mayonnaise, plus about a tablespoon. You can add more or less depending on how wet or dry you like it. So start out with 1/2 teaspoon of dried dill, 1/2 teaspoon of dried onion flakes, a 1/4 teaspoon of seasoned salt. This is the Redmond real salt kind, a 1/4 teaspoon of dried basil, and a 1/4 teaspoon of dried garlic. And just add all those seasonings in. Mix this together. I really love the dill and the basil in this. I think it just tastes so good, but I know those are strong flavors, so if you prefer to leave them out, I guess you can. Now to this, we're just gonna add the rest of our ingredients. So 1 can of chicken that's been drained very well. Next, about 3 tablespoons of minced celery, 3 tablespoons of chopped nuts. I like using cashews, but you can also use almonds or walnuts. And then no chicken salad is complete without something sweet. I am impartial to grapes. You can also use apples, but I absolutely love grapes. So about 1/2 cup of quartered or halved grapes. I always add extra because I love the grapes in it. And then just mix this up. If it's feeling a bit dry to you, you can always add just a little bit more mayo to give it a little bit more moisture. Now you refrigerate this for at least an hour, as long as you can really, to get those flavors all melded together, and you serve it on croissants. Look at these, okay? They're freaking adorable. They're just little handheld mini size. You could totally serve at a wedding luncheon, a baby shower, and if you want, you can just eat this with a spoon, on crackers, on toast. High protein, low carb. I'm telling you, these are so good. Look how cute these little chicken salad sandwiches are. I'm not kidding, it's that basil and the dill. It makes a huge difference. So, I'm gonna, that's so weird. Okay, let's taste it.
Yum.
Sorry for the editing people who have to listen to me too. This is the best chicken salad sandwich ever. And I don't know about you, are you a purist, or do you put like cheese and lettuce and tomato on your chicken salad sandwiches? I don't need any of that. I just eat it like this, and I'm a happy girl. Okay, You guys, I'm like outdoing myself in this video. This is like amazing work.
Yum.
Some of my best work. Okay, let's go to the next one. This last recipe might seem simple, but it's honestly one of the best. We're making an egg sando. However, we're making the Gordon Ramsay style French scrambled eggs. They're soft, they're fluffy, they're the best scrambled eggs ever, and you put it into this flaky croissant. It's one of the best breakfast sandwiches I've ever had. Let me teach you how to make it. First, take a small frying pan, and yes, my cookware is totally trashed. I've had this for 10 years. It was a wedding gift, and obviously I've used it. So I need some new cookware, but I don't know what to get. Do you have any recommendations? So first we're going to start out with a tablespoon of butter. I know that sounds like kind of a lot, but there's a reason these eggs are freaking amazing. Okay, this is on low heat. We want to really slowly and gently cook these eggs. Okay, now that we have a ton of butter in there, I'm going to add 2 cracked eggs. You don't really have to whisk these or anything. Just put them right in. And now take a silicone spatula and start mixing. We want to mix these pretty much the entire time, and we don't want any browning, so that's why we want to do it on low heat. Okay, for this I have my silicone spatula. I'm pressing down onto the bottom of the pan and I'm scraping up. But I'm doing this very, very quickly. I'm not losing contact with the bottom. I'm using the whole time. Okay, this is cooking really quickly. So now I'm going to turn it off when it gets to this point. And what we're gonna do is add about half a tablespoon more butter and about a teaspoon of sour cream, or if you're fancy, you can use creme fraiche. That's what Gordon Ramsay does. Okay, oh no, these might already be a little bit too cooked. Okay, so I'm taking it off the burner now. Now I'm like mashing the butter and the sour cream into the eggs. This is going to make them super soft and fluffy. Okay, I may have even overcooked these by just a touch. Do you see how light these are? Okay, that's all you need. Okay, we'll put those there. Now over here I have a toasted croissant. And what we're going to do on this is add some Boursin cheese. Are you kidding me with this? This is so good. So this is what Boursin cheese looks like. It's kind of crumbly. I'm just putting it right on the toasted croissant. You kind of have to work fast with this. Okay, now we're going to put our super fluffy eggs on top of the cheese. Oops, I guess I did this backwards. See how soft these are? They're not like breaking apart super easy. Before I taste this egg sandwich, I wanted to give a special shout out to my new friend Carolyn from Australia. She emailed in and she was so sweet. She just said that she watches our videos and it just made my entire week. So Carolyn, if you're watching, thank you so much. You're amazing. Okay, let's dig into this egg sandwich. I'm going to be like ridiculous. Oh no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm just gonna eat it right here on the end. Yes. It's so good.
Yum.
Okay, sorry. I know I've said that with like everything. This egg sandwich is amazing. The eggs are fluffy soft. They're not crumbly. They're not breaking apart. They're not overcooked. They're perfectly tender. They're amazing with that smooth Boursin cheese, the buttery croissant. Like, how could you not love this? Today's recipes have honestly been incredible. I think I knocked it out of the park with these. I mean, not to brag, but seriously, today was a great day. I'm very, very full and very happy. It's always a good day when every single recipe is just the best. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you watch this video next. It's what we eat for breakfast almost every single day. It's like the only 6 things we eat for breakfast. I hope you add some of these croissant recipes into your rotation and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, bye.